Welcome back to the PAC Sports Network for our halftime show, as we are now joined by the first-year head coach of the Bethany Bison men's basketball team, Coach Brad Johnson. Coach, thanks so much for joining us today. How has it been during your first year with Bethany and just being a part of a new program?
Sure. Well, thanks, Jack, for having me. And it's been great. It's been a pleasure to coach these young men and try to help them develop to be the best they can be. And honestly, it's been a good group of a good mix, I should say, of returners and freshmen. And our returners have, embraced the new culture and the new standards and the new system that they've, been put into. And then our freshmen have added a lot to that as well, and it's a big freshman class that has a lot of potential and a lot of upside. And I think overall it's been a great experience for me. But it's been a perfect marriage really between me and them in terms of their buy-in and their hard work and trying to change the ways of our culture type of thing to develop for the future.
Well, I'm glad that you bring up some of those returners. We'll get into some of those key players in a little bit, but I want to start first with you and your career and how you wound up here at Bethany. I know that you've had a lot of different stops along the way, including Baldwin Wallace, Frostburg State, Seton Hill, and most recently Nebraska Wesleyan. How do you feel all that coaching experience in those previous stops has helped you take on this role with Bethany?
Absolutely. I think just learning different systems and different ways has made such a difference. And I can say every head coach I've worked for has made a phenomenal impact on me and how I coach today. At Baldwin Wallace, the way Coach Sheldon did things, his kids are now, you can probably know, that are playing. AJ's playing at Ohio University, and JC's one of the best players in the country at Ohio State on the women's side for women's basketball. And, just the culture he put in at Baldwin Wallace was just phenomenal. The togetherness, the brotherhood. It was just something like I've never seen before. And then I'd take it to Frostburg State University, where I worked for Webb Hatch, who kind of was, an Army veteran. And so the standards and discipline and the leadership he put in place, as well as the professionality of coaching. I learned so much there under him. And then at Seton Hill University under Kendrick Saunders, who introduced me to the Princeton offense, which is something similar to what we do today, as well as at Nebraska Wesleyan, where I worked for 2 years. And even though it was a short stint there, Dale Wellman's still one of the most impactful coaches I've ever worked for in terms of just his offensive mind. Obviously, he won a national championship in 2018 and still probably regarded as one of the top 5 or 6 offensive minds in the game today for Division III college hoops, and has had a ton of success out there and is a phenomenal coach as well as a phenomenal person. So, just learning all those systems and different things, you take a little from each stop. And I think, our team and our culture and program here today represents a little bit of everywhere I've been. So it's been a good run.
Well, I'm sure with you being there at Bethany for your first year, I'm sure you're happy that you have players like Chance Wells, Cole Daly, and Troy Hickson that come back this year with a lot of experience from last year playing as, younger players and now starting to ascend through the ranks. What have you liked about them in terms of their play on the court, but also their leadership?
Yeah. Honestly, it's been awesome to coach all three of those guys, really. All three of them kind of fit. And I've said this ever since the interview process to now, like my system and what I envision perfectly. We shoot a lot of threes here, and, Chance and Troy were two of the best 3-point shooters in the conference last year, type of thing. So, they really fit me. And then Cole Daly is a great big body with so much upside in almost every facet of his game. But really more than anything, just, their work ethic and how hard they prepare and how hard they work every day. And really, Cole especially just always brings a smile to people's faces in practice every day. And things like that. Like, they've just bought in, they've worked hard, they've done everything I've asked them to do. And, it's a good group of returners. So I can't complain about them at all. They've been great.
Well, definitely excited to see how those returners continue to lead the Bison the rest of the season. Coach, before we let you run, just want to hear from you with it being your first year. I mean, what are some long-term goals that you have for this Bethany team and for this program as a whole?
Sure. I mean, I think every year our goal is to win the pack championship. I told our guys that at the beginning of this year, and I knew it was going to be a tough run, especially this year. But Bethany, of all pack schools, Bethany has the most pack conference championships. So that is something that we kind of look at as a standard moving forward. And, it might not happen this year. It might not happen in the next year or two. But that is the long-term goal. And I think we can get back there. I think we've got, going to have a good recruiting class coming in, as well as, the freshmen that are already here and the returners, hopefully, they can be good leaders next year as upperclassmen. But we really haven't played a senior this year. And so I think the future is really, really bright. It's just really about when it all comes together and clicks for us. And us as coaches as well as players are working hard every day and trying to get better and trying to get to that standard of winning a championship.
Well, certainly an exciting time for Bethany basketball. And again, Coach, we appreciate your time today. Thanks so much, and good luck the rest of the way.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jack. Thanks so much for having me.
That's head coach Brad Johnson of Bethany men's basketball. Don't go anywhere, as we will hear from Troy Hickson of the Bethany Bison when we return right here on the PAC Sports Network halftime show.